Good morning. I'm the Reverend Sasha Ostrom, the minister here at the Morristown Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and it is wonderful for all of us to be together once more as we gather together for worship, for lifting up that which is of worth in our common life that we all share. And as we settle in for the hour, let's go ahead and pause and center our minds and our spirits around this month's theme of building belonging. And we begin today with words by the Reverend Tess Baumberger. Let us join together in the spirit of prayer or meditation now. Spirit of life, mystic greatness, healing grace, embracing oneness of creation, be with us this day. As we come here from the circles of our everyday lives, may we put behind us all of those thoughts and worries which prevent us from being truly present. Be with us as we breathe and remember that we are here to center ourselves in this place, in this time, this day. As we ground ourselves in each other, as we give root and trunk, branch and leaf to this sacred work, to our shared and sharing selves. Help us to remember that we flew freely to this place. May we dance joyful this day in each other's moment, like brilliant fall leaves in the swirl of an autumn breeze. Spirit of life, mystic greatness, healing grace, consecrating wonder and oneness of creation, be with us this day. Amen, and blessed be. And come, my friends, and let's worship together.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Marjorie Wormser, this morning's worship associate, and it is time for us to light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, and perhaps a volunteer would like to come forward and light the chalice flame. I know you're thinking, somebody? Come on up. Should I do it? Is that what you're telling me? Okay, I'll do it.
And real quick, I'm noticing a little bit of music. It sounds like maybe somebody's device is playing something. If we could maybe turn that off. There we go.
Okay, so our chalice lighting words today are by the Reverend Margaret Kipe. As surely as we belong to the universe, we belong together. We join here to transcend the isolated self, to reconnect, to know ourselves, to be at home here on earth, under the stars, linked with each other. And now, please stand as you're able for our affirmation by James Vila Blake, and please repeat each line after me, which helps our littlest UUs participate, even though they do not yet read. Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
Love is the spirit of this fellowship.
And service is its law.
And service is its law.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another.
And to help one another.
Please remain standing for our opening hymn. If any junior worship helpers would like to join us up here to help lead the song, please come up now. Bring your great hymnal. Our opening hymn today is number 175. We celebrate the web of life. Good morning and welcome. Welcome especially to any newcomers, returning members of our community, and anyone who has joined us online today. If you are tuning in live on YouTube or Facebook, please say hi in the chat or comments. We're delighted to have you with us. We are a community of many ages and we all worship together. You can join us in many ways on Sundays, including online, here in the sanctuary, or from one of the many rooms in our building where we live stream the service. In particular, I want to draw your attention to our family room for families with little ones, which is located out these doors and immediately to the right. The family room is especially great if you need a space to talk, soothe a crying child, get the wiggles out. And our service is live streamed there so you won't miss a thing. Children of all ages are always welcome in all of our services, and we offer childcare as an additional option for families with small children ages 9 months to 5 years. Parents, if you find yourself in need of childcare at any point during worship today, please bring your little one to room A in our Gateway Center, out these doors, down the hall, through the double doorways, and it'll be on the right. Again, welcome to everyone here with us today. We are so glad you are here.
Okay. I need some help. Does anyone want to come up and help? You don't even have to be little to help. No? Come on. Charlotte? Come on. All right. I got a new Wonder Box today. I upgraded. Look at this. We cleaned out some closets upstairs, and I found this lovely Wonder Box. We're going to do it today. All right, fine. You guys sit there. I'll come to you. That's fine. What really drives the camera people crazy, but that's all right. What do you think is in there? You don't know? Give me a guess. Can you hear it? What do you guys think back there? Middle schoolers? No, you know. Charlotte knows. Charlotte, what do you think is in here? A stuffy. Oh, that's a good guess. What do you think is in here? No, I don't know. It doesn't sound like anything, right? All right, I'm going to open it because we can't really hear anything. Or actually, I'm not going to open it. Who wants to open it? You want to? No? Here we go, Paisley. Can you open it for me? What's in there? Open it up. Our yarn. All right. Why do I have yarn in here today? What are we talking about? Adults, you have gotten the title of the sermon in your emails and in your Sunday e-blast and on the website. What are we talking about today? Interdependence. Very good. All right. We're going to do a little activity together. We're going to create a web, right? You guys remember our old principles? They had the interdependence of web. I'm going to take my part in the web, and as part of the web, I am going to listen. Paisley, can you take a part and tell me what you're going to do as part of the web? Putting you on the spot here, I know. You can. What's something good? Help people. I love it. All right, good. Can you pass it to someone over there? Quit here. You hold on your part. Hold on your part. We're all part of it. We can't let go of it. Part of it, whether you like it or not. All right, Charlotte, what are you going to do to be part of the web? Nothing? Listen, sometimes just being present is very important. I like it, okay? You can do it. Grab your feet. You got to grab your part of the throat. Okay. All right, we're going to go this way. All right. What are we going to do? We're going to include adults on this one.
I'm going to help those in need.
Help those in need. All right. You guys hold on to your part over there. Let's go this way. Debbie, can you grab it there? What are you going to be doing part of the...
I'm going to support good causes.
Support good causes. All right. Let's make a good web. Let's go backwards. Yeah. All right. Steve, you got it.
Water the lawn.
Water the lawn. I love it. Sometimes it's the mundane things that are very important. All right. Let's make sure let's go this way. Or we can go that way. Whatever. That's fine. We'll make a look. Cook a meal. All right. Yeah. Join the green aprons over there. Yeah. Let's go back this way. I want to make a little web. It makes more sense when you're in a group of 6 kids, but I want a little more unruly. Lorelai, what are you going to do to be part of the web? Lorelai helps in our office. She is very important to our web. Jake, what are you going to do to be part of the web?
Help each other out.
Help each other out. Okay, we got a lot of helping. I love it. Here. Gloria, what are you going to do? Knit? Is it your knit? Someone said up there. All right. It's the knit up there. All right. Well, we got it. Sasha's I'm gonna get on my time here. We got it, right? We're all part of a web. We all do different things as part of our web. Today in the service, and when you guys go to class today, we're gonna talk about what it means to be part of the web. All right? Sound good? All right. Can I have my web back? All right. Now you guys can all look. I'll clean up. That's what I say. Let me not choke anyone out here. All right. There we go. Excellent. All right.
All right, it's time now for our milestones and passages. You know, when we're going through our lives, sometimes we go through things. Maybe we go through things that are pretty difficult, things that make us sad, or maybe we go through something really wonderful, something that makes us happy and that we want to share. And the way that we share with one another is that we have a form that you were able to fill out on Sunday mornings before 9 a.m. on our website, or you can also fill out one of these paper forms and bring it up before the service to share your milestone or passage. Now, we have a few milestones and passages to share today, so I ask that you respond to each of these by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." And if you're joining us online, I invite you to participate in the chat or in the comments. Now, this morning, it is with sadness that I share the news that Morristown UU member John Esposito passed away peacefully on Friday afternoon. His daughter Peg and her husband were with him when he passed. Now, as is our custom here, we're going to pause our service for just a moment to light a candle from the light of our chalice flame as a memorial flame to honor John's life. John was a member of our congregation for 55 years before leaving and moving to Massachusetts this past year. We hold John's daughter Peg, his son-in-law, and all who loved him in our hearts in this time of grief. We hold you in our hearts. We also have a couple of joys to share today. Steve and Debbie Rice have welcomed a new granddaughter into their family, Ingrid Pearl Rice. She is healthy. Parents Adam and Alyssa Rice are well, and son Torsten is very excited about being a big brother. We hold you in our hearts. And this morning, Beth Wilson says that I am sending a big thank you to all who helped and attended my birthday celebration yesterday. You are too many to list here. Instead, I will quote my cousin who said, "I am sure blessed with a fine community." We hold you in our hearts. Now let's go ahead and take a quiet moment for the prayers and meditations of our own hearts. This is a time for us to close our eyes if we'd like to do that. Spend a few moments just breathing, listening to the breaths of the people around you, this community that is holding you. And sometimes when we think of the spirit of life, we talk about breath or ruach. Imagine the spirit of life holding you and holding all of us together in this still moment together. Let's go ahead and take a few moments of silence. Amen and blessed be. Now let's go ahead and please remain seated as we sing number 1064, Blue Boat Home, which you can find in your blue hymnal as well as up on our screen.
Yom Kippur begins this upcoming Wednesday and is the holiest day of the Jewish year. And in the spirit of Yom Kippur, we will now have a ritual designed to help us let go of and heal from the soul-dampening burdens created by wrongdoing so that we can then foster a renewal of spirit. In the Jewish tradition, Yom Kippur is a time of atonement, reconciliation, and renewal. As a lifelong Unitarian whose parents were refugees of the Holocaust, my understanding of this observance is inherited from my Jewish ancestors, supported by my UU upbringing, and may vary from currently practicing Jewish observance. During the days of awe, the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, we undertake at least 3 essential tasks. We search our souls to identify ways in which we have missed the mark during the prior year. We endeavor to reconcile with those we have wronged by admitting our wrongdoing and asking their forgiveness. And then we make amends through a solemn promise to do better, to turn a new leaf, begin a new chapter. For this ritual, you have a piece of water-soluble paper and a pencil, and I invite you to think for a moment about a wrongdoing or a hurt or a disappointment that you have caused. You may also reflect upon one that has been done to you that lingers in your heart and mind. Name these by writing them on the paper. And when you're ready, bring your inscribed paper to the communal bowl of water, where it can dissolve with other sources of hurt and disappointment and hopefully eventually be poured into our gardens to nourish healthy growth on our fellowship campus. Regardless of whether you have done something or something has been done to you, it needs to be released to make room for more goodness in our lives. It is my hope that through this ritual, your burdens will be lifted and true healing can begin. May it be so. If you don't have a piece of paper and or a pencil, please raise your hand and we'll make sure that you get one. We conclude our ritual today with words by Kathleen Hepler. Healing begins with humility. The groaning world asks for us to humbly see the whole world with eyes of compassionate wisdom and daring creativity, and seek to walk a loving global path. It is not an easy path, but it humbly holds itself before us because it knows how beautifully fragile humanity is and how precious and riven with goodness. We come now to the time in our service each Sunday when we pause to offer gifts of financial support to this congregation. Your donations make all that we do here together possible and also help make our wider community a better place. That's because each Sunday we give at least half of the money collected to an organization that is doing good work to advance our Unitarian Universalist values of love, justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity in a world that hungers for them now more than ever. Today's offering will be split 50-50 with the Interfaith Food Pantry, which works to improve the health and well-being of Morris County residents in need by providing access to food, education, and other resources. You may give in our collection plate or by following the instructions in your printed order of service and shown on the screen. Thank you for your generosity. Every bit makes a huge difference. Thank you.
Friends, our brand new children's choir. Yes. And if any of our other kids here would like to join our children's choir, they rehearse on Thursdays at, I believe, 6:15 p.m.? 6 p.m. 6 p.m. I don't know why I thought 6:15. All right. So in our religious education classes this month, we are invited to imagine our congregation as a house that is still being built. Not a finished mansion like this one with polished marble floors and painted walls, but more like what you got used to for the past few years with the new building addition before it was completed, a work in progress that's full of possibility. Now, like real houses that are under construction, our spiritual home has carpenters who help build it. And guess what? We are all those carpenters. Every single one of us, from the very youngest here to the very oldest, has an important part to play in helping to build our spiritual home. And our Unitarian Universalist faith helps us to build our community. It's kind of like a blueprint that carpenters can follow. Our faith offers us wisdom that can help us to find ways to make the kind of spiritual home that we here and also the world that we're a part of so need. And an important part of our blueprint is our 6 values. Our values help us to build Unitarian Universalist communities on a foundation of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, with love at the center of them all. And these values help us to build a spiritual home that has wide open doors to welcome all who seek us and that has a sturdy roof to help us withstand the storms of our time. Now, last week we looked at the value of pluralism, and today we are exploring another of our 6 values, which is interdependence. Now, you may recall that in our earlier 7 principles, which we recently replaced with these 6 values, our Unitarian Universalist congregations covenanted. Covenanted means promised together, promised one another to affirm and promote, among other things, respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. Now, in our new 6 values, we have an expanded statement, and that statement says, we honor the interdependent web of all existence. With reverence for the great web of life and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. Now, that is a lot of words, and some of those words are pretty big and fancy, like sustainable and mutuality. And the word interdependence is pretty big too, actually. But all of that simply means this: we are all connected. You and I, we are connected. So are you and the person sitting right next to you and the people on the other side of the planet who you've never even met. And we're connected to the creatures on our planet, other creatures on our planet, the dogs and cats and goldfish in our homes, to the plants and the animals that we use for food, to all kinds of living creatures who live here on this earth with us. And we're all connected to the soil, to the wind, the sun, and the rain. Everything in our natural world is connected. And because we are all connected, we are called to care for the world that we're a part of. Now, when I say the world, you are probably picturing the whole planet Earth, that spinning blue-green ball that Barbara Peskin once referred to in her poem, with green continents, blue oceans, and some swirling white clouds. But today we're actually going to zoom in a little bit when we look at our world. Instead of thinking about the whole planet, which is kind of big and abstract sometimes, let's think about the world right here under our feet and all around us. The critters in our own neighborhoods, our nearby swamp and other parts of our local environment, and all the particular trees and flowers that make New Jersey the Garden State. This is our world, not just the place that we live, but the place that we belong to. It is our home. And just like we care for the apartments or houses that we call home, and for this congregation that is our spiritual home, we're also called to care for our natural home too. Now, we will explore that a little bit more here soon, but first we're going to go ahead and pause now as we do here to sing before returning to our sermon. And our song is number 134, Our World is One World, and we're going to sing just the first verse for now. As many of you know, I grew up in Arizona and I more recently lived in North Carolina. So as somebody who is fairly new to New Jersey, I am still learning the land here, still getting to know the earth underneath my feet. I'm learning the names of plants and critters that call this place home. Now, last year I enjoyed pawpaw fruit for the first time. Earlier this week I heard about something called autumn olives. And through my CSA membership, I am learning what grows when here in Morristown. And I'm also learning the rhythms of the seasons here in New Jersey, which are very different than I am used to. In Arizona, we had special seasonal changes, like when the wildflowers bloom in the desert for a couple of weeks, or when the monsoons bring microbursts and fantastic lightning shows and dust storms. Now out here, I'm still learning how the seasons shift. Developing a sense of place is important to me personally, but it's also important to us as Unitarian Universalists because it can help us to live out our value of interdependence. You know, it's one thing to think about and care about the natural world kind of in abstract, but it's a lot more powerful when we are able to care for a land that we deeply know, for the red maple and the flowering dogwood, for the white-tailed deer and the star-nosed mole. Now, having a sense of place in our natural world helps us to relate to the other beings here, like they are cherished neighbors or friends or even family members. You know, imagine dropping by your old friend, Milkweed. Hey, Milkweed, how's it going? How are you today? How's the monarch butterfly? Did she drop by to visit recently? You know, when we know intimately how the water in our local rivers is doing, how clean the air we breathe is, and how the plants and animals in our swamp are faring, it helps us to care about our environment enough for us to be able to take care of it. And it also helps us to notice the connections between our own lives and the other beings who share our planet with us so that we can care for those connections in ways that are nourishing rather than harmful. Now, our Unitarian Universalist faith invites us into that kind of noticing, the kind of noticing that can come when we begin to know a place like we know our own breath and bones. Our value of interdependence calls for us to care for the web of life that we are a part of, and the best place to start is right here with the strands of web that touch us and that we touch in turn. And one of those strands that is right here in front of us is, well, us. Caring for the wider web also means attending to what's inside of us and to what's happening inside of our own minds and hearts. After all, we are all a part of the web, and the ways we think and feel shape our actions, and our actions in turn help shape the world. Spiritual communities do not just help us explore the world, out there, but also the world inside of us, our inner worlds. Here in our community, we have opportunities to know our inner selves more deeply. Our community helps each person here consider what matters most to us, engage in self-reflection, and experience personal growth. We can ask questions here like, does the way that I'm living align with my highest values? And when it comes to the value of interdependence, we can ask ourselves things like, how often do I notice nature in my day-to-day life and take it into consideration? And when I do notice it, what do I think and feel about it? Do I think of nature as something to be conquered and used, or do I think it as something that is sacred and that should be loved and protected? And what do I think about other beings, the beings who share this planet with me? Do I think of them more as pests and things to exploit, or do I think of them more as neighbors or family? So the thoughts that we think can shape how we treat the other beings who share our natural world with us. And for many Unitarian Universalists, nature is sacred. Our spiritual community teaches us that Earth is our mother, who gave us life, and other beings as well, who are our siblings. And here we learn that the world that we have is the only planet that we have. It is our one and only home, and that therefore we should take good care of it. Now, we will take a closer look at that in a moment, but we're going to pause again now and take some time actually to stretch our bodies by rising as we are able for our second verse of our hymn. You may have noticed that recently our congregation issued a press release about something called the endangerment finding. And the endangerment finding claims something that scientifically seems pretty obvious, actually, that pollution makes people sick. Now, you wouldn't think that the endangerment finding is particularly controversial, but the Environmental Protection Agency is considering eliminating it. And if that happens, it could compromise government efforts to reduce pollution and to fight climate change. Now, you would think that the Environmental Protection Agency would be all about, protecting the environment. It's right there in the name, after all. But as we know, sometimes even the folks who are supposed to protect our planet can get a little off track, especially when money is involved. Now, in our country, we often measure our national well-being by how well the economy is doing. And if enough money is being made, there are some folks who insist our nation is doing well, even if the way that we make our money hurts people or the environment. And as long as the money just keeps on rolling in, there are those who shrug their shoulders and think, who cares if the planet's sick, as long as the companies producing all the pollution have healthy profit margins? And that is why it is important for us to be aware of our own thoughts about the natural world, because our thoughts really do shape everything we do. And when we think things like, the planet is worth nothing and only money has value, then we are unlikely to be invested in protecting our planet. And we might even decide to harm it now and then in order to earn a buck. But if we believe that the earth is sacred, then we are likely to do some important things together to protect it. Now, of course, most of us already know that caring about nothing but profits can hurt the planet, but we might not always be aware of the ways that we too sometimes do make choices that prioritize money or other things over the earth. For example, we do it when we sometimes buy cheap things, even though we know that they are not eco-friendly. And I want to be clear real quick before I get myself in trouble that I am not talking about big things that would break the bank. Obviously, not everybody can afford a Prius or solar panels, and that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the small things that we can afford to do, but don't. Like maybe we want to stop buying clear plastic water bottles. We know we could. We know we should. We may even want to, but somehow we don't. We just don't. Now, there are many reasons why we human beings don't always do the things that we can and should. That's a whole other, probably year-long sermon series right there. But today we're going to look at just 3 of those things. One of them is inconvenience. Another one is habit. And a third one is lack of support. You know, sometimes doing things in the most eco-friendly way takes some time and effort. Maybe more time and effort than we are willing to spare. You know, maybe the greener product doesn't work as well, and you don't want to take all that time and energy using something that isn't the best. Maybe that product is not sold at a nearby store, or maybe even taking the time to research what a greener option might be just takes too much time for you. You know, it can be hard to do the right thing, especially when we are really busy, as so many people are in our society these days. So we often do the most convenient thing, even if it's not necessarily the most friendly to our earth. Now, we are also creatures of habit. And if we have not already, brushed our teeth and gone straight to bed, we might forget, yet again, to unplug the electronics, despite our earnest intention to start saving more energy. I'm looking at myself right here. Or if we've always driven to work, we might not think about the other options like biking or taking the bus. You know, they're just maybe not even on our radar, even if they're things we would be willing to do. Changing habits is tough work, and if our habits are not super eco-friendly, they're just as hard as any other habit to break. And third, and this one's important, is it can be hard to live in eco-friendly ways in our society without support. You know, if your friends or family aren't interested in going green, it can make it harder for you to do so as well, at least to the full extent that maybe you want to. You know, maybe you really want to try eating a plant-based diet, but that can be hard if you find yourself with family and friends who love eating meat, and you find yourself having to prepare separate meals or having to resist temptation of that juicy steak. And if you don't have the time to look up more eco-friendly ways of doing things, maybe you don't have time to look into vegan cooking or things like that, or maybe you just don't have easy access to that kind of information, you might again find yourself doing what's most familiar, even if it doesn't always match your values. But there is an important antidote that can help us overcome some of these challenges, and that antidote is community. This community right here that we are building together. Here we support one another in living our values. Our congregation has already made some eco-friendly choices together, like installing our solar panels, and also doing things like offering online orders of service for those who are wanting to save some trees by printing less paper. And many of the people here are really trying to live our lives in more eco-friendly ways at home and are happy to share with one another ideas and help each other stay motivated. You know, perhaps one day we could have a group of people coming together just to swap ideas and offer support of that kind. You know, my friends, we live in an absolutely beautiful world. It's right here under our feet and it's all around us. It is filled with other beings, plants and animals who belong here on this planet every much as we do. Like us, they call this place home. Their well-being depends on us, and our well-being depends on them too. May we deepen our awareness of the wider web of which we are a part. May we tend lovingly to the strands that are within our reach. And may we join together in care so that all beings and the earth that we call home may be well. Amen. Blessed be. May it be so. And now let's go ahead and rise in body or spirit once more. We're going to sing the last 2 verses of our hymn now. And if any of our junior worship helpers here today are our choir, who are kind of overlapping, but would like to come forward and help lead this hymn, that would be lovely. If you want to do that, go ahead and bring your gray hymnal. It's number 134, Our World is One World.
Before we close, I'd like to draw your attention to our Minutes for Ministries. This is a time when we share brief updates about our congregation's activities to help us stay engaged with our community beyond our Sunday service. This morning, I'd like to draw your attention to the following announcements. Any newcomers with us today are invited to fill out a welcome card to help you get connected with us. You can also talk to our welcome ambassador, who would love to meet you and answer any questions. By the way, those welcome cards are at the welcome table that you passed when you entered the building. And our welcome ambassador is wearing a bright, sunny gold sash. And anyone needing a caring presence this morning will find a compassionate listening ear with one of our lay pastoral care associates, and you will recognize them by their sky blue sashes. So will today's welcome ambassador and lay pastoral care associate please stand so that we can see you, Sheila and Paul. Thank you. This upcoming week, please join us for some of our great groups, activities, and volunteer opportunities that include mindful meditation on Wednesday, children's choir or adult choir on Thursday, gentle yoga on Friday, gathering of men on Saturday, and our family campout next weekend at Worthington State Forest, as well as our science and spirituality discussion group and first monthly community day next Sunday. Lots to do. Today is our first official day of this year's Faith Formation Opportunities for Adults. We begin at 11:30 with a small group Sunday, an open house style session exploring our monthly Souls Matters themes, and today we'll explore our September theme of building belonging. Everyone is invited to come and experience what small groups are all about, whether you've already signed up or are just curious, just to see how small groups create space for connection, reflection, and community, and they will take place where?
That information is in your order of service.
In your order of service, you'll know where in the building this will take place, because I don't know. Okay. Details about these and many other activities, including dates, times, and locations, can be found on the back of your order of service, our weekly e-newsletter, or on our website at muuf.org. And we can now open the microphone to announcements from our ministry teams and committees. We have just a couple of minutes, so I'm going to ask if you will keep your announcement to 1 minute or less. We want to finish by 11 a.m. sharp, including Reverend Sasha's benediction. Thank you.
Good morning. So I am in the process of beginning to plan this year's 70th anniversary party, and I'm hoping for some volunteers to assist. I want to thank Bob, who is spearheading our history piece of that and doing a fantastic job already, and let me just tell you that there are some exciting things coming your way from Bob. But if there's anyone who is interested in either helping Bob with the history piece or planning the party, please either come and see me, send me an email or a text message so we can get you on the list, because I'd like to get a meeting going sooner rather than later so we can begin planning for this exciting event in the end of January.
Hi, it's going to be so exciting, isn't it? I can't wait for the party. I'm Jean Kraft. I'm a member of the board. I'm the secretary this year. And I just wanted to bring to your attention just some small changes that I've adjusted in room 100. So room 100, if you're coming in the front of the building, is the first room on your left. There's a couch in there. There's a screen. And there's also an information board on the south wall. And that board has information about community organizations that we partner with and that you generously chip in on Sundays to support their mission. But the piece that I really want to bring your attention to is that I did some rearranging. So now when you go into the board room, and you don't have to go in very far, on that wall, the first column has pictures and names of the staff, so that if you're new and you know, every time we mention Katie, you're like, who's Katie? Her picture's there. Also has pictures of all of the board members, so that if you're not quite sure who's on the board this year, our pictures are there, so you can spot us in the crowd and bring your concerns, questions, suggestions. Gratitude is always lovely. There's also a set of email addresses that are specific to committees and jobs. Like there's a COM email address, there's a board email address. So if you have a particular concern for a particular group, you can use that email so that everybody within that group can see what you're commenting on. And then one of the things that we're working on, the board and staff are working on a who does what sort of document, so that all of the times you're like, you know, I have a question about, you know, the parking lot or a particular color of wall in the facility or whatever it is, it's going to be easier to find the right person. Now, as a part of that, what I would ask is that you'll see Nick has been sending out emails asking different groups, who's in charge of your group? Who's the contact person? What is the correct name? Because sometimes we have groups that go by different names. So if you do get one of those emails, super helpful if you'd respond and just let us know, so that our who does what document is the best document that it can be, and that'll be publicly posted in Realm. It'll be on the website in Realm. Oh, I mean, we're planning different places to access that for different needs. So that's that. So again, I'm Jean Kraft. For those of you who I look around and I see old friends, I see not so old friends, and I see almost yet to be friends. So come see me if you have any questions about that. Thank you.
It's time now for us to bring our time of worship to a close, but although we extinguish our chalice flame, its light will continue to burn in our hearts. And as we go out into our daily lives, I leave you with the words of the Reverend Norman V. Naylor. Remind us that we are part and participants of the universe. Let us go forth from the quiet of this hour, encouraged to strive toward faithfulness to the best in ourselves, in others, and in the whole creation. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.
Thank you so much for your music during the ritual. It really made a difference. So I didn't think to ask you in advance.